What's going on, guys? Sports historian here. Back at it again with another MLB postseason predictions for 2025. First things first, you can tell from the background. I'm in Arizona now. I finally moved here. Been here about 2 months now. It's pretty nice. Over here you got a portrait of Ronnie Van Zant, lead singer or former lead singer of Lynyrd Skynyrd. I love Arizona so far. It's very nice. Definitely better than Indiana. It's nice here. But anyway, enough about that stuff. I'm here to talk about baseball. So the baseball season has been a very interesting one. I've enjoyed watching it. I really haven't seen the baseball since before I moved till the last couple weeks of the season, because that's when the most interesting stuff happens anyway. But I've been keeping up with the headlines. I saw Cal hit 60 homers. That's awesome. Cal versus Judge for the AL MVP. Shohei, hitting 55 bombs. Schwarber going off. I've been seeing all this stuff happening. It's very interesting. It's fun. And these playoff matchups are going to be super fun too. So before I get into it, if you would like to leave a like or subscribe or just shout out my channel, I would greatly appreciate that. And yeah, let's just get in because I already wasted a bunch of time. So the first matchup of the wild card series is going to be between the 6th seed Detroit Tigers and the 3rd seed Cleveland Guardians. I can't believe the Tigers lost the 15.5 game lead in the division. They were up by that much on July 8th. Just to lose the division on the last day of the season. It's a horrible collapse by them. But surprisingly, they still made the playoffs. I'm glad they did because they're still a good team. It's just down the stretch, they just let it go. They didn't play good. It's just, Schoolboy's still killing it. It's just the offense just kind of took a back seat towards the end of the season. And for Cleveland, it's remarkable that they even made the playoffs, let alone win the division. They were a lost cause in July. They traded Shane Bieber to Toronto. Clase and Luis Ortiz got, suspended for gambling issues. You still have J-Ram and Quan, and, they're still a solid team. It's just no one saw them making that big comeback just to even make the playoffs. So good for Cleveland for that. But in my humble opinion, just for watching these teams down the stretch, Cleveland's definitely hot. Cleveland beat Detroit in the final series of the season. I think they won 3 out of 4 against them in the last week of the season. So I think they're still hot, and I still think they're going to beat the Tigers in this series. I think they're going to win 2-1. I think it's going to be close, but I think Cleveland takes that extra step. And then the next matchup is going to be the one I'm definitely going to be watching. We have the 5th seed Boston Red Sox versus the 4th seed New York Yankees. Come on, it's Red Sox-Yankees. It's going to be a good series no matter what. But even in the wild card round, that's going to be fun. The Yankees, you got Aaron Judge, who's most likely going to win the MVP. I personally hope it's Cal, but realistically, the numbers say Judge, so I think he's most likely going to win it. Jazz is still going off. Volpe fell off a cliff from last year. Bellinger's still doing good. Ben Rice has been a nice rising star for them as well. Their pitching, Max Fried is the big ace they got in the offseason. He's been very good. Definitely, I think he's a Cy Young contender, but I think Schoolboy's going to win it. Fried is really good. I think because Game 1's Crochet versus Fried. That's going to be a good pitching matchup. That's must-see TV right there. For the Red Sox, they traded Devers at the deadline. They got peanut M&Ms for him, but Devers really hasn't been doing too much in San Fran, so I think it's a whatever trade at the moment, but I could probably eat dirt for that in the future. So, but they have some young prospects stepping up. They have Roman Anthony, Connor Early. They have other prospects. Aroldis Chapman at 37 is still throwing 102 miles per hour. That's really impressive. I think he's definitely a Hall of Famer. The Yankees, they picked up McMahon at the deadline. They got Duvall. So I think overall, just from the past couple weeks of play, the Yankees are definitely the weaker team. Or excuse me, yeah, they're definitely the weaker team just because they beat up on these bad teams, but they can't beat their division rivals. Like down the stretch, they lost a lot of games to the Red Sox and then Toronto, which I'll get to later. But yeah, they were one game away from winning the division from Toronto, but they didn't secure it. It was going to be a long shot anyway. But just because of that stat alone, that they struggle against their in-division rival, I think I have to give it to Boston. And Boston, to me, is a fun team. So, personally, I think Boston wins in 2-1 series. Now we go to the National League. And this one surprises me a little bit. We have the 6th seed Cincinnati Reds versus the 3rd seed Los Angeles Dodgers. I mean, okay, Dodgers, we knew that was going to happen, obviously. But the Reds making the playoffs is crazy. They beat out the Mets on the last day of the season. They had the tiebreaker on them. And the Diamondbacks, unfortunately, they couldn't secure the bag. But the Reds making it here is probably the furthest they're going to make it. I'm going to make this segment pretty quick. I like the Reds. They got Brady Singer. They have Ellie De La Cruz, Spencer Steer. They're a fun team. It's just I don't think they're there yet. And they're facing a really tough team as the defending champion Dodgers. I mean, do they really need an introduction? You got Shohei, Mookie, and Freddie. That's all you really need. And Shohei's pitching. He's probably going to start game 1 or game. He's definitely going to pitch. But I think the Dodgers handle the Reds pretty quickly, 2-0 in this series. But I think the Reds just need to make some more moves, and they'll probably be back in the playoffs next year. Now we have the 5th seed San Diego Padres versus the 4th seed Chicago Cubs. Now I wasn't very high on the Cubs in the beginning of the year for my predictions. I thought they were going to make second place, but I didn't think it was going to be enough to make the playoffs. They proved me wrong, and as a White Sox fan, I don't like it. But I have to give credit where credit's due, and the Cubs made it far enough to make the playoffs and host the Padres in the wild card round. PCA went off in the first half of the season. He went off. Second half, he was a little cold, but it's still PCA. He's still got a 30-30 season. He's still going to be nasty. Cade Horton really stepped up in the starting rotation as their ace for Chicago. Ian Happ's still awesome. As for San Diego, you still got Machado, Tatis, Cronenworth, Merrill, Dylan Cease at the helm at the starting rotation spot. Their bullpen with Robert Suarez. Still a very good team overall. This is going to be a good series. Because the Cubs have been good down the stretch. The Padres have been good down the stretch. It's going to be all 3 games, I think. But I think the Padres are just going to narrowly beat Chicago just because they have more talent to me that's ready now. Cubs are still on the rise just because of that alone. And I think the Padres have a better pitching staff, at least in the bullpen, than Chicago. I think I'm going to have to go with the Padres on this one. And now for the division series, this is what I have. I have Cleveland versus Seattle, Boston versus Toronto, Dodgers versus the Phillies, Padres versus the Brewers. So we already went over Cleveland, but Seattle, 2nd seed, they finally win the AL West after 24 years, which is amazing. And Houston's not in the playoffs, which is awesome as well. Obviously Cal, 60 home runs. You still got Julio, we got Suarez they picked up from Arizona, and Naylor. Their pitching is really good. It's been good for the past few seasons. It's just that offense has always been the problem. But they actually, they picked up some pieces at the deadline for that need they needed. And Cal, he's been killing it behind the plate. He's definitely been the leader. And it's going to be a tough series for them against Cleveland. Because Cleveland, they're hot. When the team's hot, they're hot. So it's going to be a close series, but I think Seattle is going to take it 3-1. So Boston, I think they're going to be going against Toronto, the number 1 seed. If you told me Toronto was making the number 1 seed in the AL this year, I wouldn't have believed you. Because Toronto's been on the outskirts the past few seasons, and I truly didn't have faith in them at all. But, gotta give them credit. Shit. Vlad went off, Bo, George Springer, Chris Bassett, Eric Lauer, Alejandro Kirk, legend. This team is really good. They're getting Bo back. I think I think they're getting him back in the DS. I could be wrong about that. I mean, they're really good. But I just think they don't have as much of playoff experience compared to Boston. But to be fair, Boston has, they have a new core now since Mookie and Devers are gone. Chris Sale gone too. It's going to be a tight series. I just think from the perspective that the Red Sox have been, pretty good against the Blue Jays, I think they're going to win this series 3-2. And now the National League. I have the Dodgers versus the Phillies, and that's going to be a really good series to watch just because, they're the two best teams in the National League, in my opinion. For the Phillies, you got Schwarber, Harper, Turner, Bohm, Castellanos. Like, that whole core is still there. Aaron Nola has been better down the stretch. No Wheeler. He's out for the season with shoulder issues. I think he got a blood clot in there. Praise for him. The thing about Philly for me is that they have an aging core, and this might be one of the last chances they have. I want Philly to win personally, but the Dodgers are going to be a tough matchup. They always are. Tommy Edman too, Teoscar Hernandez has been stepping up, Miguel Rosas. Kershaw's retiring after this season, so he wants, he's going to go for ring number 3, see how that goes. It's going to be a tight series. It's definitely going to be close. It's definitely going to be fun. But I think the Phillies have more pitching because they picked up Johan Duran at the deadline as well. So just having that, I think the Phillies are going to win this series 3-2. Just because the pitching. Because the Dodgers lost Brock Stewart as well for the season. But I think pitching wins championships, in my opinion, coming from a pitcher. And I on paper, I feel like the Phillies have the better pitching right now. So I'm going to go with Philly for that one. And now the next one, I have the Padres versus the Brewers. The Brewers getting the number 1 seed this season. I had them winning the division. I didn't have them being the number 1 seed. I thought that was going to go to the Dodgers. I was wrong. But Yelich stepping up, having another 30 home run season with 100 RBIs. Jackson Chourio has been amazing in his sophomore season with Milwaukee. Freddie Peralta leading the rotation. Bryce Terang. They've been having a lot of good seasons out of these guys. Jacob Mizorowski, just another Paul Skeens in the making. They have the best record in all baseball this season. I think it's going to be a good matchup if this were to happen. It's going to be neck and neck, but I think Milwaukee is going to win 3-2, just because the pitching is better. But I've had faith in the Brewers in the past, and they have always fell short of my expectations. So could go either way, but I personally, on paper, have the Brewers winning the DS. So now we go to the championship series, where I have the 5th seed Boston Red Sox versus the 2 seed Seattle Mariners. Seattle, again, with all these pickups at the deadline, compared to Boston's pickups at the deadline, night and day. I think the Mariners made better moves than the Red Sox did. Obviously, they lost Devers. But the pitching for Seattle is so good. In a 7-game series against the Red Sox, I think it's going to be very tough for them to handle that. So I personally think Seattle is going to the World Series, and I think they're going to win this series 4-2. And now my National League Championship Series, where I have the Phillies versus the Brewers. The Brewers are a good team, like we stated. Their offense is pretty solid. Their pitching is really good. A lot of no-namers making big contributions to this Brewers team. Now, with that said, the Phillies have been here. They have, they went to the World Series 3 years ago against the Astros. They, lost. They beat the Braves, in 2 series. They beat them in the NLDS 22 and 23, I think. And then they made it to the championship series where they got upset by the Diamondbacks. So they have more playoff experience than most of these pitchers on the Brewers staff. The Phillies are still very good. And on paper right now, I have to pick Philadelphia for the NL pennant. And now my 2025 World Series teams, I have the Phillies versus the Mariners. I think what keeps Seattle in this series is their pitching. It's just that Philly's offense is very difficult. Harper, Castellanos, Schwarber alone is tough. It's just a matter if they're going to stay hot in the postseason or not. Schwarber normally is. Harper as well, Castellanos is hot, hot and cold. Turner, same thing. Bohm, same thing. They were starting Edmundo Sosa at third base just because. I just think this Phillies team is going to be the team to beat in this postseason. So I have them winning the World Series 4-2 over Seattle. Although I hope Seattle wins. That's the team I'm going to be rooting for. Them, the Padres, and the Brewers are the 3 teams I'm rooting for in October this season. Although I just want to see good baseball, and I think we have a good shot at seeing that in 2025. So that is my 2025 playoff predictions. Just saying, don't be surprised if the Red Sox make a run. That's my thing. I know I had them getting knocked out in the championship series, but watch out for that Red Sox team. That team is going to be good. As for final thoughts, this MLB season has been really good. Overall, I think all these teams deserve to be here. And I really think the Phillies are going to win it. I hope they do, just for the sense of the aging core and for Harper. I hope he gets a ring before he retires. He's 32. He's getting up there a little bit. He's going to be getting out of his prime in the next couple seasons, so that'd be nice. But yeah, Philly, I think they're going to win the World Series in 6 games. So thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it. There are 2 more videos that are going to be coming out in the month of October for me. October 20th, obviously the Leonard Skinner plane crash. I like to play, a song from them on the channel because they mean a lot to me. So you'll be seeing a video on the 20th for that, and then when the World Series, when the championship series are done, I'm going to do a little recap of the playoffs, compare them to how they aligned with mine, and then pick, a World Series matchup in more detail when that comes. So thank you for watching Sports Historian 2005, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.